Welcome to Portraits Part 3. At the beginning of this project, I showed you the Mona Lisa, one of the most famous portraits in the world. I want to show you a more modern portrait to kind of frame what we're going to be doing next. So this portrait, as well as the following, are by an artist named Kehinde Wiley, who you'll see in just a second. He's an African-American portrait artist that emphasizes having this very Baroque and classical look. So you'll see in a second, there's a portrait to the left, which is the original of Napoleon, and to the right is a portrait of a modern rapper. He takes these portraits, which are usually European men and women, and remixes them with iconic African-American men and women of today. So today we're going to finish by coloring you in, cutting you out, and creating a background and a frame that reminds us of Kehinde Wiley's work. The first thing, if you haven't done it yet, is you should color in your hair. When you are coloring in your hair, I want you to think of two things. First, what kinds of lines make up your hair? Are they straight? Are they wavy? Are they long? Are they short? Instead of just coloring, I want you to make those type of lines to fill in the color of your hair. So in this portrait, my hair is straight, so I'm using straight lines, and my hair is long. The second thing I want you to think about is the color of your hair. Your hair is probably not just one flat color. Now I have black hair, but my hair sometimes shines brown. So I want you to think about the two colors you can use to color in your hair. So if you have dark hair like mine, you might do black and brown. If you have like a medium brown hair, you might want to do a little bit of tan and brown to make the highlights, or yellow and brown. If you have blonde hair, you could use only a tiny bit of brown and a lot more either tan or yellow, depending on how you want it to look. But try to use two colors for your hair to make up the complexity of your hair, and try to think of the type of line that is going to make your hair straight, wavy, short, or long. And take some time to color in your hair as a shape. So if you have long hair, it should go all the way to your neck, as in all the way in towards your neck. If you have short hair, it should be all attached to your head. The next thing I'm going to do is do my sunglasses. I want you to think of sunglass lens. They're shiny. Sometimes they can be black or blue or green. Sometimes they can fade from one color to the other. So be creative and decide how you want to color in the lens. I'm going to do a kind of magenta to a yellow, fading by pushing hard and then light. But you can do your sunglass lens any colors you want. I also want to make my sunglass rims stand out. So you can use any drawing material you like, but I emphasize that your sunglass rims, the outside of your sunglasses, should be pretty solid looking. So if you're using a marker, make sure you color it all the way. If you're using color pencils or crayons, push hard for that part so that way they look nice and solid. Remember, yours does not have to look like mine. You can use different colors. This is just giving you tips of how to make details for your face. All right, let's talk about skin tone. Skin is multifaceted, which means there's lots of different colors that make up your skin. Your skin is unique, so it probably won't fit into just one kind of crayon. So what I want you to do is, no matter what crayon you decide to start with, I want you to draw as lightly as possible as you're coloring it in. I am not exactly the color of this crayon, so I'm going to use this color and some other colors to layer. See how I'm barely pushing at all and just almost letting the crayon coast across my skin. I'm also going over my lips because my lips will be slightly different colored, but not drastically. So you can choose one or two colors that you could layer on top of each other for your skin. Even if it is the color of your skin, I want you to work on first doing it lightly and then maybe adding more layers if it doesn't look quite dark enough to you. So I'm using a brown, a peach. I'm also going to use a little bit of orange, which might seem strange, but I want my skin to look a little warmer. Whatever you decide to do, try lightly coloring in your skin so that way it doesn't overpower your lines. And once again, I am going over my lips because my lips are skin toned, but I'm going to give them a little bit of a shade of another color in a second. So those are the 3 colors that I used for me. All right, for the lips, I'm not wearing lipstick, but my lips are going to be a little more pinkish or red. So like my skin, I'm going to do a very light shade of pink over my lips. If you look at your lips and you're thinking, okay, actually they just look a little darker, maybe do a light shade of brown. Or maybe they look a little bit tanner, maybe do a light shade of tan. You decide what color needs to go over your lips to make it a little bit different than your skin. The last thing we're going to do, and you did see a pair of scissors because we are going to cut you out, is you can decorate your shirt any way you want to. Think of Kehinde Wiley's work. I'm thinking of making it very floral and decorative. You could do bold stripes or dots, but give yourself a bold, interesting shirt. I decided that I'm going to have mine kind of match the colors of my sunglasses. You don't have to do that, but I thought it was an interesting way to make it look like it goes together or feel unified. If you need to pause while doing your shirt, go ahead and do that. I'll be done in just a second. And then I'm going to cut out me from the rest of the white paper background because we're going to next make a frame and we're going to find a background that reminds us of Kehinde Wiley. Oops, my crayon broke. Remember, broken crayons can still be used. Ooh, actually this one works better for shading and the whole area. All right, time to cut it out. This is also really important why your hair should be a shape. So if you have long hair like me, it should, like I said, go all the way over to your neck so you don't have to worry about cutting around each little strand. Or if you have braids or something, make them thick so that way when you cut them out, you don't have to worry about cutting around tiny pieces. All right, the next thing you'll need is another piece of paper, pause, and it should be the same size as your portrait. So go ahead and put your portrait to the side. We're going to make a frame. The way we're going to do that is you're going to take a similar sized piece of paper and you're going to fold it hamburger style away from you so that the big fold faces you. This is so we can cut out a hole from the middle of the paper without cutting the edges. With the fold towards you, we're going to draw 3 sides of a frame or a box. It should start on the fold, go up, across, and down without touching the other sides. Because that middle part is what we're going to cut out, and the outside part is going to be what we use for our frame. You do not have to cut perfectly on the line, but you shouldn't cut through the outside or that part that's around this middle kind of tabletop or rectangle that I made. Okay, once you have that middle part out, you can put it off to the side, maybe use a scrap paper for another drawing. This is what you want. Unfold, and this is now a frame. You can color in the frame. I'm just going to quickly color mine in yellow. You could also paint it if you have paint, and decorate it. A lot of the times really important artwork or portraits, when you see them in an art gallery, will be in a really decorative gold frame. So you want to make your portrait important by putting it in a decorative gold frame because you are important and we want to make this look as fancy as possible. All right, now that I have my fancy frame, I need my face and I need to go find a background. So think about, or you can go back in the video to Kehinde Wiley's work. He had backgrounds that were usually really decorative or floral or interesting. Now I don't have a ton of space behind mine. I may even make my frame a little bit skinnier, but you're gonna find places to put your face, put your frame around so that way you have a different kind of background. Then you can take a picture. You can do multiple places too. So first one was a floral blue background. This one is a bold red and white stripy background. This one is a more kind of muted teal but geometric background. So decide what kind of background you want. Experiment, maybe show me a few of them, but have fun trying to find different backgrounds for your Kehinde Wiley inspired portrait.